everyone. This is Jay High from Couch and Keyboard, and here we are again with another mid-tier report. Going over some stuff I saw over the weekend. There was two main events plus another, or a couple rather, smaller stuff. And yeah, I think this was a pretty good weekend for mid-tiers. I'll kind of get into it. We range anything from like ICs to Game & Watch. If there's some low-tier stuff, like bottom tier, maybe I'll include it. But generally, this is, Luigi, DK, ICs, Pika, the Marios, Ganon, Link, Young Link, Yoshi, Samus, Game & Watch. But yeah, some more success than others. Starting with who is becoming the protagonist of Melee. We have Rap M getting 4th in singles, 2nd in doubles, and 2nd at the pre-local beforehand. We'll kind of go over his overall record soon, but I'll go through. No other Luigi's did that well. Saucy Main got upset. It was 4 and 5 in the pool, so it's not like it was crazy, but didn't make it out. Luigi Gauchard lost really early. And then on the West Coast at Fight of the Museum, we had Mikey C barely not making it out, and then Curve, aka Vegas Matt, tried Luigi a little bit. Didn't really stick with it. More known for being a Fox main now, but having a Luigi back in the day. Dialed M had a great weekend as well. Getting 5th in both singles, 2nd in doubles, good stuff. The other DK I saw was Keystone. Didn't do amazing, but got close to making it out. Top 48 was making it out, so 2 rounds away. He had a ton of ICs, and none of them did that great. Slug was the 4 seed and got 9th. Got 5th in doubles. We know Slug is very capable, but this was not quite what we were expecting. Frostbite, 17th, which is good, but then lost to Juicebox and Losers. Did beat Young Neil, so that's good, but then, losing to a Sheik is kind of weird. I mean, it's an in-region Sheik. They're both MDDA, but yeah. And then we've seen Lop and Friend a bunch in some brackets. Friend having a very good run at Pat's house. And I think they were both at Altitude Sickness. Maybe both at Pat's house, I forget. But neither of them did that amazing. They both made it out, and that's good. But didn't make it much farther. I would say that, top 16 was pretty solid, but underneath top 16 was not that crazy at a Fight of the Museum. It was so Law was here. Friend did lose to a Peach, and this Peach did beat Fishbait in the Ditto, so Mustache Massacre was good, but also sometimes you get matchup checked. Lop able to beat a Puff. That's not too bad. But yeah, kind of flamed out a little bit early. I think that underneath the top 16 was not that stacked. And then you have Fishbait tried to go ICs. It's an interesting counter pick war, just because of you kind of have this triangle of Peach, Sheik, and Ices, which seems like it's a very strong. I would say Sheik beating Peach is not nearly as strong as Peach beating Ices and Ices beating Sheik. But this was enough to where Fishbait tried to counterpick, and there were some Zelda switches. That is something where it's if Zelda was better, then I feel like Sheik would fare much better, literally. But I mean, if you can still be good enough and get around a Spirit Gun. This was 16 versus 17, I believe. This was the closest, yeah. Because the 1 seed was Josh, man. That's what I thought. So this is not that crazy of an upset. But it was Fishbait just beat. I'm pretty sure it was Fishbait, or was it Anchovy? I think so. Yeah, it was Fishbait. Excuse me. But yeah, so it's a little bit weird here. Tried it out. We saw Zane do it against Leffen in the past, but it's not for free, and also there's a counterpick war that can happen from it, so it's a risk. But yeah, and then Icy's underneath that, not too hot. Candle had a pretty good run at Atlas Mass Series, but not anything crazy. here. And yeah, Catherine Radical and Spider Jew didn't really do that good either. But I mean, like Spider Jew made it out, but only played Ices a little bit. It's like, okay, Ices being in the mix is fine. I think you're gonna have less in general just with wobbling not being allowed, and I do think there's been an Ices like kind of like renaissance in terms of like setups and like trying to make it a very unique character. But I think like the threat of there being a Peach or a Puff or a Fast Fox or even Luigi now, I think Ices is just less appealing for some people to pick up. But yeah, Pikachu, not a very good weekend. Like Blesse did fine. I don't think this was a terrible weekend for Blesse. Blesse was in the conversation for top 100 last year. Lost to Young Neil. I think this was like, it was supposed to be Frostbite, which that would not have been any better. Beat Luigi Gauchard, which that matters a little bit less, but I mean, hey, you made it to Jmook. And I think Bon was the Pikachu that beat Jmook. But yeah, made it out, beating, I don't know who Halo is, but clutched it out there. Got your seed, that's fine. Then you had two Pikachus at a fight at the museum. They teamed together, which is double Pikachu sounds very interesting. And I guess you can get some like grabbly up smashes and stuff like that, and good recoveries. But it's also like if there's two people edge guarding a Pikachu, that's a little bit more like less committal, and you're able to cover more. Mr. Person was able to make it out to get to round 2 pools. So that's pretty cool there. I think it was the other pool. But yeah, so we're able to see a Pikachu make it kind of far, but not much farther than that. And then Doc/Mario. I'm not sure which one Seabass went, but this was pretty good. Teamed with Stevino in doubles to get 9th place at Creed. But Seabass was close to making it out. I forget what pool it was in. Oh, wrong one. But I'm pretty sure this was an upset, right? Yeah, beat JKJ, who did lose kind of early. Then lost to Juicebox because of a upset here. So, I mean, losing to Juicebox is not bad at all. And then losing to Slug, these are not bad losses, both ranked losses. So we could have seen Seabass go even farther, and also had, I guess, didn't enter the pre-local. But yeah, Stevino and Totally Butts both did. Neither of them made quite the splash, but we're seeing a little bit. It seems like, especially Mario, but also Doc in general, we're not seeing as much. But keeping it in there a little bit. Ganon, the best Ganon I saw of the weekend was actually in the UK. Boiled Pepsi was able to get 5th place. Got some, got a pretty good bracket here making it through. I think there was pools, right? Yeah. So wherever, I forget which pool. Well, let's check. But this was a pretty big bracket, 55, or I guess 48 that had actually been in here. But I was able to do pretty good, making it out as the 1 seed. I don't really know too many of these players, but I mean, this is pretty good. And I was able to get 5th place, so this was the best Ganon I saw. Miranda is more known for being like an old school like mainstay. 65th, and some people like Spider Jew was, I think, mainly going like Peach, and then I saw a little bit of Ganon, so I put it on there. And then Lesd didn't make it that far, but I mean, top 128, got like around top half, I guess. But yeah. And then we had a very interesting matchup of Aklo going Link versus Rat Monster. This was in losers quarters. Aklo just lost to H-Box. Rat Monster was in losers, losing to Crudo and then beating Slug and E-Poodle. And we saw Link. And game 1 on FD was looking very good. I was going to talk about this later. I guess I will now. But this was very impressive on FD. Now, Link on FD is seemingly Link's best stage in a lot of matchups. It seems like, to where I kind of talked about it the other day. But like the ability to have really good projectiles, and we saw some like down air edge guards. That's really on any stage, I guess, but like maybe not Yoshi's just because of the low floor or whatever. But just the ability to have a disjoint projectiles. There was just a lot of things that seemed to be working pretty good. Like sometimes going for up Bs. Ratmonster was getting around the up Bs a little bit, like the edge guard up Bs, the 2002 kind of stuff. But yeah. And then Aklo lost twice with Link, and then switched to Fox and still lost. I'm curious if it was later in the set how it would have been, because I definitely think that it is stronger. Like just Ratmonster's platform mix-ups are such a strength, so removing those does make it better. But I don't know. I want to see more. I'm not sure if Aklo, like I think because you get that one game win, but it's your best stage. So I don't know if we see him again, how that'll go. And then we had Broke His Helm, pretty funny name, but made it pretty far in Fight at the Museum. I think it's actually with a C. But I was like, huh. Which, shout outs to Fight at the Museum. They reported characters very well. They even reported characters in doubles, which is pretty cool. But yeah, made a decently, like, we saw going some, no, I guess this was Night Fox. But yeah, lost to Mustache Massacre, who pretty good Peach, and then lost to Zeddy. So probably predicted to make it out, but still did fine. And then did all right. 17th at Adam Smash Series as well, pretty good. Yoshi, not a great weekend for Yoshi. Without Amsa, we haven't seen Daniel and DZ and Egg Money. Like we haven't seen much Yoshi recently. Stiv got 9th place of both singles brackets over in Oregon, and for whatever reason was going Yoshi against Fox, against Falco instead of going Fox, and that's interesting. I mean, I know Falco Fox used to be like the propaganda was like, oh, Falco beats Fox hard. I think that might have been kind of carried by Mango and Magi some too, but I don't know. I mean, some people like they don't like the matchup, so they go someone else, even if it's not as the character you're less good with. Because I saw it, it wasn't exactly Amsa out there, but it was fine. Looking at some of the matchups, I think it was. I don't know if Stiv took a game in either of those sets. We saw it was, yeah, I think it was just against Graves here. Because it was, yeah. Oh, against Cliche as well. So, didn't take a game here, didn't take a game here. We go to Stiv. Made it out. Fox Ditto, I guess, didn't go against every Falco, but I think it's like you're probably pretty favored there. Took a game against Elliot here, made it out in losers, and then tried against Graves again. So not the best track record getting 3-0'd here. Did take a game against a Falco, but seemingly not really liking Fox Falco, and didn't really switch, even being down in multiple sets. So I don't know. Like I think it's fine to try it. It seems like, which Elliot has beaten Amsa before. I don't know if Amsa was like at a kind of like a regional or local or something. But I don't know. Like I wouldn't recommend it, I guess. But if you don't like being combo fodder for a Falco for a minute at a time, then that's your prerogative. We saw a couple other Yoshis. Both made it pretty far. Floating Mess Maya and Cannonball, both teams, got 25th, which it wasn't that big of a singles, or excuse me, doubles bracket. But Floating Mess Maya was able to make it out of pools, which was good stuff. Even took a game off of a Falcon here. Yeah, had a pretty solid run here, and then Cannonball also made it farther in the pre-local, but yeah, like these are not anything to be that like thrilled with, but it's still good. Not much Samus. there was like an O2er when Samus. I'm not gonna include O2ers. I feel like it's kind of it's highlighting this person lost, but like Nomad got 49th, not too bad. I'm curious what the matchups were. Okay, seeded pretty low, lost to Chango, and then had a pretty good run, beating looks like Yoshi, Fox, Peach, then losing to this Falco Yali, which Yali had a pretty good run in doubles too. But yeah, so holy Martha here. But yeah, so had a pretty decent run. Potion was, I guess, the 8th seed in the pool, and Nomad was 15th, so that's a decent win here. But yeah, not much Samus right now. And then Game & Watch, speaking of Melee Supreme earlier, we had a pretty good run from Squeechu. Did lose a little bit early, losing to a Marth, which, like, I played that matchup, and if you play around fair from Game & Watch, I feel like it's probably not too bad. I didn't, so I lost. But yeah, also win a little bit of Mario. I don't really count that very much, but like had a very good losers run and able to do well against a variety of characters: Falco, Ganon, Marth, Sheik. Yeah, so good run there. Squeechu, when I did my best Game & Watch video, Squeechu people were definitely singing praise for Squeechu, and top 50 in Europe, I think. Which, like, that sounds like, oh, we get back to the penguin argument, but like that's still good. But yeah, and a couple other Game & Watches. It seems like Game & Watch is becoming a decently popular character. We had Zeddy and Unlucky, which Zeddy made it out, and I'm not sure where Unlucky was, but yeah, Zeddy beating Broke His Helm, the Young Link, beating a few Foxes, also beat Dr. Z, Old School Puff, which people were saying that like it's an okay matchup, just because like one of the few characters that has a kill confirm on Puff with I don't know which throw it is, but like a throw leading into Nair, killing it pretty early. The thing is, you have to get a grab as Game & Watch. When there's a rest, yeah, you can get a grab pretty easily. But outside of that, it's kind of difficult. Like, you can get some fairs at like, depends on when you get the fair, I guess. But like, it was seeming just like not amazing in terms of consistency. But Zeddy was able to make it out. Unlucky was also able to get really close to make it out. There was another Game & Watch was seated pretty high, but went 0-2. Where it's like, at certain points to where if it's not that top heavy, there could be a variety of upsets where it's just kind of a crapshoot for seeding. But yeah, so that was kind of a run through, and then here we have our 4 main characters currently of mid tiers, in my opinion, with Rat Monster, Dialym, Slug, and that now Aklo is back at it. So I'm kind of focusing on them. Rat Monster being a very big deal. I was doing just the players ranked above Rat Monster, but I went ahead and rounded out the top 30, which has a win on both Crike and 404 Cray. Now adding an Aklo win. This is not records being positive. This is just having a win, because we know Wizrobe has been a little bit tough. But got that win on Aklo. I think that's a really good step to where there's very few players. Like I counted 14 out of 29 in the top 30. Rat Monster has a win on. That's almost half. Like, that's very, very good. And some of these losses, like Jmook and Axe, were very close. And I think that he can beat almost anyone that he hasn't played yet. Like, didn't get to play Joshman. Joshman DQ'd at Pat's house. Might have seen that. I guess it kind of depends on the bracket, but it would have definitely been possible because I guess played Moki and losers. So it could have been Joshman instead. I think will do very good against Moth. And then, I mean, Amsa probably won't play for a while. And even still, I don't know how that'll go. He's been Daniel before, but, that's a bit of a disparity, I guess. I think can beat Zamu. I don't think, besides Cody, I don't think there's a Fox that Rat Monster can't beat. I think that, like, yeah, you have some up air stuff, back air, like, up smash. Like, you have some really good moves from Fox. But I think that Ramos is just so comfortable in that matchup. He says that Marth is bad, but I mean, he kind of beasted on ePoodle and has done well against Zane. You know, did lose at Pat's house, but is still good at that matchup despite it apparently being bad. So I would be very curious to see how Osfi would do against Rat Monster. Magi, we've seen like not a ton of Falco experience. I know some people like Bobby and a few others have. I think like Spark and Med at like a free weekly or something. Like it seems like Falco is a better character to go compared to Fox for a lot of people. So this would be pretty interesting. Also has a loss to Ginger. So I would want to see because beat Casey and Graves got some Falco wins at Altitude Sickness. So is showing to be better in that. Triff, I don't know. I mean Triff has certainly played Yao Raiden before, and it has done fine. But I mean, Rat Monster and Aura has become a pretty big rivalry recently. So I think just having that experience would be good. Yeah, game 5 with Axe and Jmook. I feel like Rat Monster can beat none of that run back. Not feeling like great about Salt, but I think can beat Laud too. So like, I could see this being to where it's like Cody, HBox, Salt. It's like the only people he hasn't beaten. Maybe Amsa, just because of, you know, Amsa's really good and also won't be able to play Amsa very much. I think we could have 26, I guess 25 because he can't play himself. 25 out of 30, I could see wins over the next year. Like, Rat Monster is, like, I don't think there's this matchup. Like, yeah, Puff is tough. But, I mean, does have an SGJ win. Did get two Dawson wins. Has wins on Khalid. Wins on Faust. You know, lost to Zasa. Losing record to SDJ. Lost to HBox 2 more times. But I just think is doing pretty good in that matchup to where it's like, I don't think there's going to be this huge disparity. And looking at these players, like just focusing on this, I think that Rat Monster is going to stay like it's showing just a lot of consistency. There's not just these like a couple wins, like, okay, you get your Zane win and that's it. And you just never beat anyone ever again. No, he's consistently beating other people. Getting this Akla win, you know, fills out. This is like top 15. Has wins on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of top 15. Almost half top 15. And then getting a lot more wins throughout this, you know, the next 15 as well. So, yeah, if we look at the full wins and losses, beating Aklo with both the Lincoln Fox, beating Crudo once at the pre-local, then losing to Crudo twice. They've gone a lot back and forth. I don't think that's too crazy. Like, people thought, I was like, oh, it's a bracket demon, but they were like 3-3 going into this year, so that's not too crazy. Dawson twice, Slug again, beating ePoodle, beating Young Neil, and up and coming Spacey from New Jersey, I think, beating Big Buffalo. There was like an SD in a game, and then lost to HBox, took a game in one of them. Also did he beat HBox in doubles? That was pretty cool to see that 2v1. That was crazy. And yeah. So also we have Dial M, which Dial M has got his best win ever. If you go by like rankings and stuff, Dial M beating Aura is technically his best win ever. Like beat Osfi earlier this year. Has a Moth win. That was pretty surprising. And like it's done all right, but yeah, I consider Aura to be his best win. Also by matchup, just because I feel like DK versus Marth is considered to be pretty good for DK in a lot of ways. While DK Peach, people remember the Junebug Triff set, but I don't think it's that good for DK. Like, yeah, back air is very good. Yeah, you can, you know, Peach is taller, so you can combo her pretty well. But I mean, like, you know, turnips can be a thing. You have pretty good edge guarding with the down air and air stuff by the edge. Yeah, I don't think it's that good of a matchup. I think Aura has some weaknesses, but yeah, and then has 10 unique top 10 victories. If you look at these, you look at these 8, and then you also have Fizzwiggle, former top 100, and you also have Quang, Kyle McNadate, or whatever you want to call beat Quang at Altitude Sickness. So it has 10 top 100 wins, a few of them multiple times, like Casey and Fizzwiggle and all that. So and then a lot of them are this year. Previously had beaten Yaoraiden and Casey, but yeah, and then also beat Fizzwiggle previous year too, I guess. But yeah, did lose to Ultra. Sometimes you have people that are more comfortable, the same sponsor, I believe, same region. But yeah, like still accumulating these wins. I'm not gonna. We had to see Dialem get ranked. I'm not sure Dialem will get, because I don't know if you've seen, but they're switching to a top 30, which I'll probably make a video on my thoughts. I've been a PR panelist for my region for a while. I also made I did a test ballot one of the years for the Melee Stats ranking. But yeah, so I'm pretty familiar with it, so I'll probably explain that. But I'm very curious to see where Dial M will get placed, even if it has to be the end of the year. Dial M's guaranteed to be on there. I could see it being like, a case for top 50 at this point. We'll have to see. But we'll probably be able to still keep traveling, and I think has a lot of potential to keep getting those wins. Slug, falling off a little bit. I mean, Slug is still doing fine. I don't want people to panic. Because if we look at these wins from this year, he's doing fine. Milky, Jmook, Wizard, those are very good wins. And then filling this out, multiple Crudo, Ossify, 4-4 Cray. I think 4 Cray reset the bracket, but still has wins there. Beat a Puff, OG Kid, E-Poodle. Fred Melee is pretty good. Doing fine. There's been a couple of weird losses. Panos, his fellow teammate and fellow, Pennsylvania player. I think sometimes you have someone that's you play against for a while, pretty well. Also lost to Inky at Creed. This was pretty strange. To where I did not see this coming. Was able to make it through, but then lost to Rat Monster in this run back, which he's 0-6 against. But yeah, Inky, which Inky had a great run. So I don't want to take that away from Inky and saying Slug was playing bad, but I don't know. It was just really unusual. And then did have that fish bait loss. You can just say that as Peach or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like Slug still probably should have been able to overcome that. It's tough to know. I mean, if you look at Slug's historic, wins here, you don't see a lot of Peach on here. So I think it's let me look up. I guess we have B-Bats. 1-on-1 with B-Bats. Ryo Beats. Hasn't played. Wally. 0-2 versus Wally. I don't know. Laud. 0-5 versus Laud. So, okay, it doesn't have the best track record versus Peach. But I don't know. I wouldn't have expected going into it that he would lose to fish bait. It's possible, though. I mean, it happens. And then, we have Alclo. I talked about this a little bit earlier. With Link on FD was looking very solidly. I think they went to, Battlefield and then maybe Stadium? I forget. But I'm curious if that was just adaptation or what, but I don't know. I think that, especially if Melee continues to do stage then character, because I know Ultimate has been a big proponent of doing character then stage. You have Proto Banham switching characters, and you also have FD Kazuya and stuff like that. So it can benefit multi-main people. So if that continues, I think that we have the Mango switching off of Spaceys on FD, that kind of stuff. But not only with the chain grab, which Luigi has if you manage all the wavelands and stuff, but wave dash distances. But I think it's just really strong. I mean, we can see the ability to against Marth, against Peach, against Luigi. You have the ability to do pretty good in some of these matchups, and I think there's some value there. So I don't think Aklo should retire the Link. I got a win here, and for a game, I think you can still try it. Because I don't think the Fox did very good. I mean, you could say it wasn't very warmed up. I don't know if you want to go down that road, but I think it's worth still playing. But yeah, so this was a pretty cool weekend, much better than some other weekends in terms of mid-tier success. We saw some very high-level wins. We saw multiple top 20 level wins. Rat Monster didn't quite do as good as we were hoping. Dial M did get beat kind of early in losers for both of these. Well, I guess early in winners at Adam Smash Series, lost to Zoe and then lost to Aura, but then got his run back in this bracket here, lost to Ultra 3-0. Did take Josh Man game 5. So I think that Dial M is looking good. I think Rat Monster is looking great. Even though lost to Crudo, you can't solve someone. Like there's going to be matches where people are going to come back, and just because you upset them in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen again. So I think pretty good overall. Slug, disappointing, but it's still looking to be very highly ranked. I mean, you don't get second at a national major, small major thing. Like, either way, like, you get winners out of Grands there, beating, J-Mook and Wizzy, like, Ossified, like, that's going to be good. And then also, like, beating Moki and all these kinds of things. Like, it's looking good for Slug. So, yeah. Yeah, good stuff. It's going to be a little bit of a quieter week coming up, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of Battle BC, and yeah, it's going to be some good stuff.